In Lesson 13.2, we'll be recording employer payroll taxes. We'll calculate and record employer payroll taxes. The type of employer payroll taxes are employer, Social Security, Medicare taxes, federal unemployment tax, and state unemployment tax. Federal unemployment tax is a federal tax paid by employers to administer the unemployment program, and it's called federal unemployment tax, commonly referred to as FUTA. State unemployment tax is a state tax paid by employers that is used to pay benefits to unemployed workers, which is called state unemployment tax, commonly referred to as SUTA. Calculating unemployment taxes. Unemployment taxes are paid on the first $7,000 per year that an employee makes. So if you look at John Butler, his prior accumulated earnings is $27,195. Since that is above the $7,000 threshold, then there's zero that goes towards the federal unemployment tax. Then earnings for the current pay period. So the federal unemployment taxable earnings would be zero for that employee. For the next employee, their prior accumulated earnings was $5,260. The earnings to equal the federal unemployment taxable base is $1,740. The earnings for the current pay period is $1,494. So that total amount of $1,494 is put into the federal unemployment taxable earnings column. For the next employee, Ann Lindsay, $1,648 for prior accumulated earnings. To reach the $7,000 threshold, you need to be at $5,352. So the entire amount of earnings for the current pay period will go towards the federal unemployment taxable earnings. The next two employees, their prior accumulated earnings are over $7,000, so zero will go towards the earnings for the federal unemployment tax base. So they will have zero in the federal unemployment taxable earnings. The last one, Carrie Wells, the prior accumulated earnings is $6,490. $510 is what is needed to reach the $7,000 threshold. The current earnings for our pay period is $1,444. So only $510 of that $1,444 goes towards the federal unemployment taxable earnings. So when you total up that column, it's $2,244. So here would be the entry for employer payroll taxes. December 15th, recorded employer payroll taxes expense, $757.01 for the semi-monthly pay period ended December 15th. Taxes owed are Social Security, $500.77, Medicare tax, $117.11, federal unemployment tax, $17.95, state unemployment tax, $121.18. Memorandum number 4. Since it's a memorandum, it will be going on the General Journal. This is what it will look like on the General Journal. The date, account debit is payroll taxes expense, M44, total is $757.01, the debit, and all the rest of the accounts are credited. When you add those four accounts together, that's what your debit is equal to, $757.01. What is the tax rate 3 Green must pay on employees for each of the following taxes: Social Security, Medicare, federal unemployment, and state unemployment? Social Security is 6.2% of employee earnings up to a maximum of $106,800 in each calendar year. Medicare is 1.45% of total employee earnings. Federal unemployment tax is 0.8% on the first $7,000 earned by each employee, and state unemployment tax is 5.4% on the first $7,000 earned by each employee. What is the amount of each employee's earnings that is subject to federal and state unemployment taxes at 3 Green? The first $7,000.